Hi everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. Today I have my new camera setup going, so if you have any comments about placement of the camera or if an angle felt weird, please let me know in the comment section below so that I can tweak this new setup and make it so that we can all be happy with it. So this project I'm going to be using some of the spring signs that I got in the $4 Michaels grab bags. So I have 4 of these Home Sweet Home, and I have one of the All Good Things Are Wild and Free. And I'm going to be turning them into Christmas decor. So the first thing I need to do is grab some white chalk paint. And I'm going to paint over just the white part just to get rid of this spring decor part of it. Hopefully it's not going to take too much paint. And then they can dry. And I'm going to be Mod Podging some like Christmas cards on the top of them. And this will be something that can sit up in my shelves. And I have a big space above my cabinet, kitchen cabinets that needs a lot of things to decorate it. So I want to take down everything I put up there and then be able to decorate all with Christmas. So I need lots and lots of stuff, and I need it in all different sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint that out like that and let it dry. And I'm also going to paint this one. Now I'm going over the whole painted surface, not just where the design is, because my white paint is not the exact same color of paint as what was used on this in the first place. So I'm going to really just kind of coated on there. Okay. Okay guys, I'm hearing a tinny buzz in the background. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I am going to make a camera adjustment, and hopefully when I get to the Mod Podging part, this tinny sound will be fixed. All right, I'm going to give these time to dry. I'm going to paint the other 3, and I'll be back to show you what's up next. Okay guys, I tried to adjust that tinny sound and it actually made it worse. So I'm going to just voice over what I am doing here in the picture. So what I'm getting ready to do is decoupage onto my painted canvases what I'm using. And this is a package of napkins that I got at Big Lots for $3.50, and there are 40 of them in the package. And when you open the napkin up, there's 4 truck images on each napkin. So one package is going to go a long way as far as decoupaging. I'm picturing these on candles, all sorts of things. But this is a 2-ply napkin, so when you're napkin decoupaging, you need to separate out the 2 plies. You'll get a much nicer finish if you do it that way. And you're going to use less Mod Podge because you're going to need less to soak in. So it takes a little fussing at the first, but you just peel those 2 plies away from each other, and they come apart pretty easily once you get them started. Okay, don't worry about wrinkling up your napkin because that will get smoothed out with the Mod Podge. So that's what's going to go on that one. And then I have a Christmas card that was a package from Big Lots. It was $5 for 14 cards. And it said Happy Holidays on it. So I cut it down for 2 reasons. One, it was too big to fit on to my canvas with the greeting on it. And I don't like to say Happy Holidays. Christmas is Christmas because it's the birth of Jesus, and I say Merry Christmas. If that offends you, I'm sorry. And on this one, I'm going to use a punch out from one of the Michaels Hot Buy pads, and it says Merry and Bright, and it's in pieces, so it'll have to be Mod Podged on carefully. And then I have another cut apart from one of the Michael Hot Buy pads for this Christmas, and they come forward to a sheet like this, and most of the pads have at least 1 page of these in them. Not all of them, but most of them do. And I cut it apart, and it was the perfect size, and then I just kind of fussy trimmed it around the edge of the red so it would fit a little bit nicer on the canvas. And then for this big one that I did, I love It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. That's one of my favorite Christmas songs. But I don't like the gold embossing on the corners, and it doesn't fit that way anyway. So what I'm going to do is mat it with some of this green buffalo check paper, but I need to cut around the graphic in the middle to get it down to size. And then I'm kind of fussy cutting around the edge, but you could also just cut it in a rectangle with a paper trimmer and cut it square or rectangular, and then you could mat it with that green paper. But I don't worry about the handmade look of it too much because I'm going for the farmhouse look, and farmhouse is handmade stuff. So don't sweat the small stuff if you're not cutting it perfectly. It's pretty forgiving. If you're worried about cutting and not keeping it nice and neat, then just cut it in a rectangle and it'll look good too. So don't worry about it. Just go with the look that you like and let it be what it is. Now, I'm not particularly crazy about the gold embossed letters on this piece of art because it's a little shinier than I would like for the farmhouse look. But I'm hoping when I brush over it with the matte finish Mod Podge that will tone it down a little bit. And then I realized that it will fit better going landscape wise instead of portrait. So it fits on there nicely, and I'm just going to mark with my fingernail where I need to cut, and then I'm going to cut along one of the lines of the plaid so that it just stays straight. I don't have to drag out my paper cutter. It's all good. Okay, so that's what I'm marking, and then I'm going to cut it with my scissors. Take your time on this. You want this to be straight because this is going to be your mat. All right, I think I kind of like that look. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I have some red plaid, but it doesn't match the red of this, but the green matches almost exactly. So we're going to go with the green. All right, now for the fun. I'm going to get out my Mod Podge, and I am going to spread the Mod Podge completely over the painted surface, even though, excuse me, even though my paper isn't going to go to the edge. I'm going to take my Mod Podge to the edge, because when you Mod Podge things, it changes the finish a little bit, and so if it's not Mod Podged, you can see where the Mod Podge starts and stops, and I don't like that look. So I'm going to just be kind of liberal. This one. Now the white's not really going to show on this one, but it'll give me a good surface to glue to, so that's why we're going with that. Alright, now for the napkin. Since this is napkin decoupage, you gotta do this a little differently because the napkin is so thin, and I can't spread Mod Podge on the back of it because it'll just disintegrate. So I'm going to put a thick layer on my surface, and napkins you don't want to peel up because they will tear. So make sure you get it where you want it before you push it down. And then it's going to soak in. Now I'm just kind of pushing it down as I go, holding up as much of it as I can. Now, most of the time I tell you let it dry with napkins. I think it just works better to put the Mod Podge second coat on right away. It just helps that napkin to get in there and soak in. So I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge this down, and then after it's dry, I might take a little bit of paint around the edges and just kind of blend it in a little. Now be careful not to scrub too hard on your napkin. You don't want to tear it. And then I'm going to go the same direction with all of my strokes to finish off the glue. Okay? So I really like how that one's going to look. Okay, so it just needs time to dry. Now, I feel like my other signs are doing a pretty good job of drying. So I'm going to take this big one, and the Mod Podge is dulling down the sparkly embossed lettering, which is kind of what I was hoping for, and we'll see. Okay, so this one is pretty much done. It might need one more coat of Mod Podge. We'll see what it does when it dries, and we'll go from there. So this one's pretty much done. Now, this one is also pretty much done. Now we got to put some on here. I'll be back when these are dry to show you how I finished them up. Alright guys, there you have it. My Mod Podge signs are dry. I was thinking about putting some like holly or whatever around the edges, but I think I really like them just plain the way they are. I don't want them to be too fussy-mussy. This one is my absolute favorite. I love the way that napkin just melted into the canvas and just became so smooth it looks like it's painted on there. Absolutely love that. Gonna need to paint over that because I missed a little spot where I cut the red and black border off of the napkin. So I'm gonna have to paint over that, but that one's pretty cool. This one didn't go as well. It is dry and it doesn't look like it is, but it's still a little soggy there. All of the glitter on it that's supposed to look like snow kind of messed with the Mod Podge a little bit. But from a distance, up on the top of my shelf where I plan on putting it, it's going to look really cute. Then there's this Merry and Bright. I really like how this one turned out. I'm loving the buffalo check, and it's hard to find green, so that's why I wanted to do some of these in green. And then anytime I can get a Candy Cane Factory sign, I just love that. And then I don't know what happened with the cardboard I stuck under there. It made a little bubble, but that's okay. We'll work with it. I really like the way that this one turned out. The matte finish Mod Podge kind of took the shine a little bit off of the golden letters, so I think it will work for the farmhouse theme that I'm doing. I did think about going in there with some black marker, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. So I don't know if you have any of these burlap signs from your $4 Michael's grab bags, but for, I got 1, 2, 3, I've got 5 signs made up, and it cost me very, very little money to do it. So always look for things on clearance that you can make into something else that you're not necessarily going to use for the purpose that it was intended. Use it for the purpose that you intend. So I will have a few more Michael signs. Like I said, I got a ton of Michael signs in my grab bags. So I am making a lot of Christmas decor because I am doing over my entire house. I'm changing it from my family Disney. I usually do Disney Christmas tree and decorations. And this year I'm switching over to farmhouse. Kids are all out of the house, and now I'm going to do it the grown-up way. Anyway, if you like this project, let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. Give it a thumbs up. YouTube really likes to see thumbs up on videos. And let me know what you're thinking about this camera situation. Is it clear? Is it easier to see? Is it harder to see? I've got it at a different height, a different angle, and it is a new camera. I'm also wondering about the sound. How does that sound to you? Okay, so if you have any comments on that, please let me know down in the comment section below. This has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Merry Christmas. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.